We've got our holes drilled now in our uprights. So the next step is going to be to attach our uprights to our base or our horizontal. Here we're attaching the upright to the base. The first thing we're going to do is figure out where this upright goes. We want this upright to go in the center of our base. You should be able to see my crow's foot right here and my crow's foot in the center right there. Those are my two marks. And if you look carefully now, you should be able to see my two lines. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my other horizontal piece, my other base. I'm going to line them up and I'm going to transfer those marks across.
You guys can't see this on film, but what I'm doing right now is I'm making the ends of both of these pieces exactly the same. They're both 7 feet. They're the same. And now I'm going to take my square and I'm going to transfer this line across onto my other piece. So I end up putting my vertical piece in the same spot. My post is going to go in the same spot. So now I'm all set to lay out my post.
That's where we want our posts to go. The question now is, what can we do to reinforce this post to keep it from moving? So you can imagine we're going to have a long arm right here with a really heavy weight sitting on this end of the arm. And the opposite end there is going to be throwing our object. That means there's going to be a lot of force, a lot of lateral force pushing on our post this way. So what's the post naturally going to want to do? The post is naturally going to want to do that. It's going to want to break. And it's probably going to want to move this way as well. So you've probably already seen on our plans, what we're going to do is add a diagonal piece here and a diagonal piece here. We're making a triangle. It's really important you understand this. Triangles are an indestructible shape when it comes to building. We use triangles all the time in construction because they're so strong, and we're going to be doing that throughout this project. But before we build our diagonals here, we need to figure out how we're actually just going to attach our post to our base. Our answer? Another type of triangle. Here I'm using the table saw to cut plywood. Plywood is different than the wood we normally use in the shop because it's made up of a bunch of thin layers of wood that have been glued together with the grain going different directions. Plywood is much, much stronger than the wood we normally use, which is why I'm using it for this part of the project. After cutting the wood on the table saw, I'm screwing it together, and then I'm cutting out the diagonals of our triangles on the bandsaw. Okay, we have our triangles cut out, and these triangles now are going to get glued and screwed in like this. And you can see how this is really going to help anchor the post to the base. These triangles have a special name in construction. We call these gussets. Yes, gussets. And what the gusset does, as I just said, is it helps attach two pieces together, usually two pieces that are coming together at opposite angles or opposing angles. This is something you can see in a bridge, in an iron work bridge or metal bridge. Oftentimes in the joints, you'll see these gussets, and these really help reinforce things. So what we're going to do now is screw these gussets on. This is going to make this super strong. I'm not just going to use screws, I'm also going to use some yellow wood glue because I'm only using 1 5/8" drywall screws. These are not very strong screws, but I think once we glue this on with the screws, this thing should be pretty strong. Now I'm attaching the gusset plates onto the T with yellow glue and drywall screws. You can see once I get one attached, I'm taking the other side, clamping it into place and matching it, gluing it and screwing it on as well. Once the two have one gusset plate set on one side, I'm then adding another gusset plate to make it even stronger. Tomorrow we'll attach the diagonals.